So spreading the effectiveness culture around the world is a challenge. We have spots of brilliance. We have other spots that are developing. One of the things that we have that helps is simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. We have a really simple strategic approach that helps us all work together. It uses the same language, it uses some similar tools, and that at least creates an equal starting point across companies, across disciplines, across geographies, across different departments. And that helps a ton because we're all aiming for the same thing. When you start with the same ambition, you're a little bit more apt to crack it together in a much more powerful way. So we have that, and that again, it spans everything, and it pulls people together. It's based in our philosophy of being a truth-based company. You start with those core truths, and then you actually use that as a practice and a tool set to bring everybody together to, solve the things together and to create together. But it is a challenge. It's a really good challenge to have. I think of every person and every tool that we have as an asset, and how do you channel those assets in an interesting way given what you're trying to do for a client. And there has to be quite a lot of nimbleness with that, but also some process and rigor so that we're not just total chaos.
Well, I think the first thing is making it part of your mission. If you have an obsessive focus with the work and how the work is working, and that's how we live and breathe, then it becomes part of the fabric and culture of a network. And then I think the second thing is very much to do with transferring experience and learning, so that everybody knows not just what they're supposed to be pursuing, but how, and that's where things like this, matter. So we got 10 of our most successful strategists from around the world who have done best at not only architecting the work that's won those awards, but winning the awards, and have produced something that hundreds and hundreds of planners and strategists in other agencies around the world, in our agencies around the world, are using. But it's really got to start with every day setting out to create work that could be proven to be more effective than anybody else's.
If you have a siloed organization, things break down pretty quickly. If you declare that everybody's a strategist in one way or another and make those roles interchangeable but clear, it's amazing what people can do when they build off each other. So the structural component's very important as well. And then being a global network and allowing those influences to come in from all over the network. So we look at what's happening in New Zealand or Hong Kong or London when they're winning awards like the Warc 100, and allowing that type of thinking and the expectation of that level of creativity and genius to infiltrate the agency is a big part of it as well. So yeah, it's all three. It's talented people, it's the right structure for the agency, and using the global network to influence rather than just being a global network, opening up the spigot of influential creative ideas and thoughts.
People think it's hard when it's global. It's just a discipline, right? It's about saying this is exactly what we're about. This is our strategy for being able to execute that. And then it's about driving accountability. Inevitably, people work in teams of 20, even if they're in a 2,000 person operation. They work in smaller groups of people. So it's much more about understanding, okay, where's the inefficiency in each of those businesses? Where are the choices that need to be made? But inevitably driving into those groups of 20 the right structure that needs to operate. Even if you're on an account which has got 200 people, which does occur and can occur, and people still work in packs. It's just the way they do. It's about making sure that you make the choices of who's in those packs and just doing it accordingly. And then sure enough, once you've made those choices and you drive that accountability into each of your offices and expect them to execute against that strategy, it's not as hard as what you think. It's just about making sure you have a point of view, you have a strategy for doing it, and then you have accountability for making it happen. and those who do. It was very interesting. We were at the ANA and looking at some of the great marketers up there talk about, their successes. I have to say, I don't think there was one original thought up there. But however, what there was a group of people who actually executed, and that was the difference. It was the discipline of execution, of whether it was purpose-based marketing or whether it was about creating brand belief or whatever. I've heard those phrases for 20 years. There was nothing new inside of that. The difference was they executed. And so it's all about choices and about leadership and making those choices and building the kind of organization with the strategy that you've got.